I'd like to call the meeting of the Ramapo Town Board a regular meeting, and we'll ask the clerk to call the roll. Oh, Maureen is...
He's on his way.
He's on his way?
He's here. He's on his way.
I didn't look over there to see. Nat, are we finishing up that bill for... Again, we'll call the meeting to order, the Ramapo regular meeting, and this is the meeting of Thursday, June 20th, 2013, and it is now 10 o'clock as advertised, and we'll ask our clerk, Christian Sampson, to call the roll, please.
Councilman Logan. Councilman Deputy Supervisor Withers. Councilman Allman. Councilman Friedman. Deputy Commissioner Hunter. Supervisor St. Lawrence.
Here. I'd like to ask Deputy Supervisor Withers to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a note that Councilman Friedman is here as well. Get me coffee? Yeah, I did. But I'm going to drink it. The first item that we're going to do on the agenda is under the Town Attorney 3B. Michael?
There's an existing pilot agreement with Montebello Commons Apartments LLC. It's now necessary for the life of the current LLC that owns the properties, or the pilot, to amend its certificate of incorporation, so it basically mirrors the time period within the pilot.
Okay.
So this resolution addresses that question.
Okay. Moved by?
Withers?
Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, second by Councilman Friedman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now we'll go right to the police matters. Chief?
Good morning, Mr. Supervisor.
Good morning, Chief.
Receiving statistics for last month. I compared them to the same month in 2012. Go down the list. They haven't deviated in the numbers. The biggest, direct you down to the bottom half of the page, uniform traffic tickets. They've gone down by about 200. And our cell phone enforcement's gone down, as well as the parking tickets. We will emphasize those violations during the summer months and see if we can pick up that enforcement.
It's $30,000, Chief.
30,000, what's that?
$30,000, right?
That's over my head.
Is it 150? 150 times 2.
Oh,
It's okay.
No,
I'm
we'll
just-
emphasize that over the summer months and see if we can get a grant. Last couple of years, we get grants for seatbelt enforcement and cell phone enforcement.
But I don't think 50 in the cell phone would be 30,000, though.
No, the two, I'm just saying 200.
Chief, up on the top, it says blotter and cases. In May it's 4,013, and May of 12 is 29. That's just incidents, total incidents. That's just,
And as you're aware, we have a new computer system or an impact, so those two numbers are not fair to compare. We're using different type of numbers now with the impact.
Just say one, like, expand on that. Well, just give, what it is now is that we're requiring officers, everything they do on the street, put it in the impact system. So if they take traffic posts, they write a traffic ticket, settle all that stuff, that's put into a blotter system. So we have a better accounting of the officers' time and everything else, and what they're being used for. So it's a way for us, a tool for us to be able to manage their ability to do between us here or need to be. So if the number's gonna be higher, but the officers are doing the same amount of work, so
You can't really compare last year to this year.
Jimmy?
You can't really compare last year to this year, because now you're using this new system.
We
you
don't,
can-
last year we did not have that system.
on the false alarms, fire alarms, burglar and fire alarms,
Yes.
466.
Yes,
That's a lot of manpower going around in 1 month.
that's correct.
And it has to, we have to somehow get a handle on that. We've talked about this in the past, we've never done anything, but I think we should do something, come up with some kind of a policy that if somebody has 2 false alarms in a month, they're gonna have to pay something. I mean, 466 times.
What that,
Isn't there something that we have alarm permits? Everyone has to have an alarm permit, or do we have a system like that? We do?
That's 15 a day, right?
Because I do know, in terms of what the supervisor said, a lot of municipalities have alarm permits.
yes.
There's a code, and, you know, if it is something like twice in a year.
Well, we'll look into it, report back at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Chief,
Yes,
if I remember correctly, when we talked about this years ago,
many years ago.
we decided what we would do is make a distinction between the false alarms that have been installed by a company and false alarms that have been installed by the homeowner. And we would give a pass maybe to those who were installed by a business. If it was just something that went wrong, we would give them a warning. And then after a certain number of alarms going on where the homeowner installed it, we would start fining them.
Yes.
Because as it's been pointed out so many times, and as you said before, it's been talked about for years and years and years.
Yes.
We haven't gone out there with the officers. Every other time we turn around, there's a 122, which is your false alarm.
Yes.
And they have to go, walk around the perimeters, check it and everything, which takes them off the road from other things that are more important. And usually, thank God, it's not on a, it's not a burglary taking place. It's just that the burglar alarm itself is malfunction. So it's long overdue, and I sincerely hope the police commission will take that into consideration and maybe come up with something instead of continuing to talk about it.
I just have to leave it by 11 o'clock.
The only concern
And
right
I'll
now
be
is
back
that
later in the
3 o'clock.
afternoon. 3 o'clock,
I know
I should be back.
police manpower and all that, and I'm not taking that away, but this is more, I think, the purview of the fire inspector. He's the one who comes to every fire call, and he's the one that makes a determination and says, you know what, I've been here 6 times this year, enough is enough, because sometimes you can't go make a general statement saying, okay, this guy had 3 false alarms. There might be a justified reason why that happened. So usually the fire inspector, I know, does issue tickets and says, look, we've been here 15 times already this year, or 10 times this year, or 5 times this year, and that goes in front of the judge, and the judge decides to fine.
But at the
Versus the
same
police
time,
department giving a ticket
it's
for
the
that.
police officer that makes the first call.
The majority of our calls are 122s, which are burglar alarms. So,
I'm talking about the fire alarms, I got it on
I
the
was
burglar.
talking about the burglar alarm.
Because it's burglar and fire alarms
Yeah,
together.
I was just talking about the burglar alarm.
What we can do is do a little research, we'll dust off some of those statistics, and we'll have it a little bit more current, and we'll be able to give you a presentation at the next board meeting.
Chief, I was just looking over our actual law that we have now, so maybe we should disseminate it to everybody, and let's strengthen some of the penalties if we need to, and any adjustments we need to make. All right? That's good.
Captain Coakley, with the new system that we implemented with Impact, would that be easy to track? Oh, it would. And how many recurrent addresses?
Will you make a copy of that?
For the first conviction, the fine of not less than 25, no more than $50. Okay? And then it goes up for second offense. But yeah, I'll print it out. I'll go get it.
Okay.
You too.
Okay. Any other questions on that?
Second part of my report is want to keep the board apprised of some of the meetings and ceremonies I attended. For Memorial Day, we went over to the Montebello Memorial Day service, Motion Cemetery service, as well as the Ammon Village ceremony. He built a gazebo, and his name is Stephen Balfagolis. Went to a wedding over New Square. Went to a few dinners, the Vice Ambulance dinner, Spring Hill Ambulance dinner, Rampo Valley Ambulance dinner. Got to jog a little bit more. Food was too good. That concludes my report, but I have number 2 on the agenda is the Homeland Security grant. As you know, we've been trying to get some money for Homeland Security, and so far has been forthcoming. We did have a meeting at the Sheriff's Department on June 2nd. Nita Lowry set it up. It was well attended. There was some supervisors from the county there, some chiefs from the county there, and there was someone from Homeland Security there. Mayor Spitzer from New Square was there. Mayor from Kaiser was there, and we played our case. A little vocal, but quite candidly with this board, I'm not overly optimistic. We are going to do a little bit more research and see what is available from Homeland Security. I just found out recently that the money that was given for the Maccabee games about 2 years ago was taking out of another area monies from the county, so we really didn't get additional money, it was just diverted. So,
Oh, that's interesting. That's not what we were told originally, is it?
that's correct. I just found this out, so I want to do a little bit more research in it to get back to the board. We haven't given up, but I'm not too.
So that money for those games was not additional. That just came out of the funding of the county, and they spent all of that. And they spent all of that money on that, and
270,000.
270,000, and that, which was way above and beyond what I know that was what we thought from the beginning. So they took regular funds that were earmarked for the county and used that, and it was not additional. We were always told that this was an additional grant that they got for this, and that's not the case. So they took 200.
Just finding out, I want to make sure I get all.
Yet they won't pay us for our police services in the county, and you know,
Well,
Chief, that's ridiculous.
It's more than that. I expect a wedding in New Square, I think in July, August, there'll be 8, 10, 12,000 people there. And we can't get money for that safety and security. There'll be influential rabbis, not only in the region, out of New York City, and perhaps
Around the world.
Israel. I mean, it's almost ludicrous that we can't get support for that event alone. As we all know, on Shabbos, we have thousands of walkers in this community, and I can't get help. No matter who I talk to, they don't say I'm wrong. They just can't say why they can't help.
You know, basically, it was a one-day event. It was the day that they had everybody gathered together at RCC, and after that, there were 10, 15 people at any venue.
You always can get a seat.
Yeah.
Chief, if I'm saying correctly, I was involved with, there's some schools that were trying to apply for Homeland Security grant, and they were told that the Homeland Security is not giving any grants. Rockland County was excluded from any financial grants for 2012 and 2013, or the end of 2012, 2013. They're only offering technical assistance, which means they'll send you a guy for a couple of hours, and that's it. They're not getting any money. They gave to Brooklyn all those areas, but they excluded Rockland County, and I think maybe further upstate some counties as well. I don't know if that's correct.
That may be. For some strange reason, they have excluded Rockland County. We want to be included with New York City. And for us not to be, again, excluded. What happens in New York City when they believe we put Band-Aids around here? No matter what happens. Even with the Boston Marathon, the supervisor, Mrs. Withers, called me. I'm sure that we do whatever we can to make this community safe as possible. So we're sensitive to global issues, but certainly things that happen in New York City, 20 miles down the road, and for some reason they excluded us. Whoever that person was to exclude us, I don't think you'll be able to find him today.
This isn't anything new, actually. I mean, this is nothing new. This goes back years and years. Westchester, when they just started distributing Homeland Security funds, Westchester was getting a tremendous amount, and I think there was someone who did a study of just comparing, you know, we're about a third of the population of Westchester. We should be getting a third of the money, and we were getting like a 50th of the money. What do you think could be done to get? What is Westchester and these other areas? What are they doing where they're getting the money and we're not?
I can't answer that question. Perhaps they were included in these, let me see, circles around in New York City. I don't know if they are or not.
Oh, because you think we're too far?
excluded.
No,
'Cause
we're
over the
excluded.
river and
No,
is that what it is?
it's, there are other people that are over the river, Hudson County, Bergen County, and New Jersey. Everybody is included in the Homeland Security circle around New York City except Rockland County.
And it's been that way with everything. It's not just Homeland Security. Rockland County's always been the punching bag, or whenever there's only a pot of money, it's much easier if you just carve Rockland out. I think a lot of it has to do with our
Well, meeting with me,
legislative, up whether it's in Albany or federal. I just think that they've never really pushed Rockland because to them it was never important. They
well,
always
we've been pushing
excluded
it,
us.
and in a meeting with Congresswoman Lowy, pushed the fact that we need to be included in there, and she said that, and her staff said that the reason that we were not included is because we were more of a rural demographic. And I said I found it very hard to believe Suffolk County is in there. The furthest points in Suffolk County are more rural than Rockland. And we have, in this town, half of the property is parkland. So if you take the per capita or the number of people and you include the parkland, which the federal government does, then that cuts our density in half. But that was the rationale that they were using, which I think is bogus, and I think that the sheriff hasn't been fighting hard enough for this, quite frankly. And I know that our chief has been fighting for this ever since day one, and giving them information, having meetings with Homeland Security, and we need to get it changed. Go ahead, Chief.
Thank you. That meeting lasted about 2 hours. Boston presented their case with the Manson Mall, Palisades Mall. Armstrong presented their case with the parade. Certainly, we presented our case. And what I stressed to them is the common denominator was not the walls of Clarkstown or the parade in Armstrong, but all of New York and proximity to New York City. So I'm not optimistic, but we will continue to be strong.
Okay.
Next issue, this is in questions.
Go ahead.
Is a tuition reimbursement request by Sergeant Corbett, amount of $4,835. He's attending St. Thomas Aquinas. The one course is forensic psychology, the other is criminal justice and community relations. If you'd like to see a copy. Here.
How did he do?
paid enforcement.
Fantastic. We need to have a resolution on this, Michael? On this expenditure of $4,835?
Now, Chief, did he finish the course or just?
He did.
Okay, so we pay upon passing, if someone
Yeah,
passes.
he got 2 A's
Yes.
in the 2 courses.
Yeah, so we should have a motion.
Moved by Councilman Ullman, seconded by Councilman Friedman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. And my last item is just to provide the board that police officer Collins has retired, was effective June 17th, here, a little over 20 years.
Fantastic. We're going to have anything for him?
We'll
Other than continuing to pay and giving him his pension and things, I mean,
That's not a bad. While we're on that subject, I just received a letter from Rockland County Personnel. The new list is available to me. So I'm going to go over there and take a look at it. And historically, the town has always requested a residency list.
correct. All right. Very good.
That's all I have. I don't know if there's anybody in the public like that.
Anybody in the public like to speak? We'll open it up at this time. Come right up.
It's Robert Romanowski, 183 Maple Avenue, Muncie. What he would like, I'd like to ask tonight, I still believe that there is a parking problem on Park Lane between Maple Avenue and Sunrise Drive. It's in the mornings from 7 a.m. to about 10 a.m., and in the evenings too. It's running later, maybe from about, depending on the time of the year too, that has an effect on it. I say it's like 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. There are cars all parked on the west side of the street. The street is very narrow. There are buses driving on the street, and it's very hard for 2 cars to pass. Also, a Transport of Rockland bus route, Loop 1 uses that street. At one time, the town did have signs there. They were removed. Then it was said that they were not needed. The town passed a resolution rescinding a previous resolution for the no parking signs. And also, the cars are parked on the corner, around the corner, up the hill on Sunrise Drive. And I really think the town should really take a look at no parking signs. I'd like to know who would I speak to in the police department about getting a traffic study as far as no parking on that street.
Thank you, Mr. Romanowski. Anybody else from the public that'd like to speak? Motion to close the public participation by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilman Friedman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously. Chief, did you have any executive session items? You do? Why don't we go through the rest of the agenda real quick? We have some other items on the agenda, so I'll recognize, first we'll do the acceptance of the minutes for the special meeting, June 10th, moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, second by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously. Approval of agreement with PMA Management, moved by? Moved by Councilman Friedman, second by Deputy Supervisor Withers. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously. Approval of installation of Opticon equipment, Verdi Electric Maintenance Corp., moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously. And appointment of a hearing officer for disciplinary charges for a town employee, moved by Councilman Friedman, second by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously. Chief, do we need to go into an executive session now?
Yes, sir.
You're requesting that? A motion to go into executive session by, for personnel and litigation, moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, second by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, carries unanimously. We'll go into executive session now. Thank you. For the, that still needs to be voted on, and this is, council, you want to go over this? This is 4B?
Yeah, another motorist struck Anthony Sharon's vehicle, received a settlement from Geico General Insurance Company, who's the other driver's insurance company, and this resolution accepts the payment of $4,987.13. That money will cover the full cost of the repair of Mr. Sharon's vehicle.
Great. Moved by Deputy Supervisor Withers, second by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously. Motion to adjourn. Deputy Supervisor Withers, seconded by Councilman Ullman. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously. We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.